We don't fall, we don't flop. Voices out, no delay. Still we humble when we pray. Lights will shine our way, cause we still chasing
I gave you everything, even the pieces I needed for myself. But love don't always return home, does it? I put it first like I owe to the world. Drop my crown just to lift up my girl. Skip dreams, skip flights, skip meals, all for a love that never felt real. Watch her smile while I bled inside. Play the fool just to keep her vibe. Even beg life to make her stay. She was done before she walked away.
She said I'm nice, like that's a curse. But nice don't mean I don't know my worth. She said I lost the feeling, it's gone. But I lost myself trying to prove I belong. I gave her my message.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Can I confirm I'm audible? If I'm audible, you could just maybe just drop a comment in the message box. If you look at the platform down there, you would see type a message somewhere where you could drop a comment there, or perhaps a reaction. It doesn't necessarily have to be a comment. My name is Michael Ulubenga Shile, and I'm your host for this webinar. Oh, thank you very much. I see your thumbs up, Daniel. Thank you very much. So I guess I'm not here alone. And thank you very much, Samuel. I see your hand as well. Yeah, so you're welcome to this edition, the seventh episode of our Dinamico conversations. So we started this conversation sometime around August last year, precisely August 29th, if I remember right now. And ever since then, it's been we've had this conversation about six times. We've had about six episodes before now, and this is the seventh one. And with that, on that note, I welcome you to this seventh episode of the Dynamical Conversations titled Rolling Safe, Understanding Tyre Expiry, Maintenance and Road Safety in Nigeria. And on that note, I also like to recognize the presence of some of my panelists. I understand we had a slight challenge earlier with the link. So the delay is expected. We expect some people might not be able to join early enough. So the link we actually use, we had a dry run with the panelists earlier on. And for some funny reason, apparently, instead of us to just leave the session open, someone maybe ended the session. So we had to send a new link. So we sincerely apologize for that. But of course, on that very link, there is a redirection there. If for those who probably will still go on that link, they'll be redirected to this new link. So we expect people will join us in trickles. But in any event, the webinar is being recorded. So they could always watch later on YouTube and catch up on it. Interestingly, most of our feedbacks, the larger audience we have, come after it's later because, of course, we do our webinars typically in a weekday. So a lot of people probably still at work and tired and all that, but they get to watch later and give their feedbacks. Of course, we'll be expecting this is going to be one of such situations. But then feel free to share the link if you still have it. It's a very straightforward link. I'm just going to type it in the comment box here, just in case maybe some of your colleagues and your people you've invited to join us for this session, probably they are not, they don't have the live link. You can please share with them. So I'm going to be sharing that right now in the comment box. I have my assistants here as well. So please feel free. If there's anything you need to type in the comment box, please type it in and let's make it very interactive for everyone. And I expect more people are still going to be joining. So please let's let them in. I might not have the time to be the one doing all that in. So please, my assistants who are on the ground, please ensure once you see anybody trying to come in, please just allow them in. I hope you have the permission to do that already. All right, thank you so much. So I just dropped the link in the comment box. So please just share with your network. It takes us straight to this point, and of course, at that point, they'll be able to get in. So yes, on that note, I'll just be talking through what we have here today. What exactly are we talking about when we talk about rolling safe, understanding tire expiry, maintenance, and road safety in Nigeria? But before I go ahead, let me just recognize that my panelists are in. Can I confirm that I have Miss Prince Ike Okoye in? Prince Ike Okoye, if you're in, just maybe unmute yourself and just say hi, so I know you're here. Or you could drop an emoji or something, just so we know you're here. I think I saw him at the. I mean, I think I can see him around. But Prince Ike Okoye, are you able to unmute yourself? Please, can you confirm you can unmute yourself and speak? Prince Ike Okoye, are you able to speak? Okay, let me look at it from here. I hope I'm not. Maybe I'm the one who has to give him access too. I think he's able to speak though. Better if you just type, maybe type in the comment section. Maybe that would help if you're able to. Just I see you online already. Can I confirm that we have SRC Jesutomi P Malai Barola online already? I see you online as well, but let me just confirm you. All right, thank you very
Yes,
much.
I'm
I
here.
see you online.
Good
Thank,
evening.
thank you very much for joining us. We are so grateful to you for doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I see some people are typing on the sheets. Okay, I think I might have to revoke some access. So this is so this platform just for the sake of getting you further acquainted is called the Merit Hub. So this it's a very beautiful and unique platform where all our learning takes place. Everything besides I mean, among everything we do at Dinamico Consulting, part of it is also trainings. A lot of our trainings go on right here on this platform. It's for us, it gives us much more functionality than the typical Zoom or Google Meets, which is why we have it here. So yes, thank you again for joining us, SRC, Jesu Tomipe. Can I confirm I have Miss Oluwashiomamoye here already? Miss Oluwashiomamoye, can you confirm you're here already? If you're here, please just maybe you want to unmute yourself and just drop a word.
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Ikeo Koyi, I'm still here to get your confirmation that you're here. Typically, we don't like to start our webinars without confirming all our panelists are in-house. I see quite a number of people joining already, and I know more are still going to be joining. So thanks again, every one of you, for joining this, and I assure you, you're going to be having a fantastic time. Now, let me take a bit of a recap or let me take us back memory lane and what actually informed the idea of having this we're talking about this particular topic today. Now, it's actually started with a personal conversation I had with Mr. Prince Ike Okoye. So Prince Ike Okoye sells tires. Now, what I'm going to say here is it's going to sound funny, but I guess I'm not too ashamed to share a life experience. Now, so I bought my first car personally in 2013. So when I bought that car, it was a Mercedes-Benz C-Class. Yeah, I mean, it was, in fact, the story I got that car is another thing entirely. It was a miracle car because barely 2-3 days before, I never thought I was going to buy that car, but then it came. So with the excitement, when I was going to, immediately the first thing I did there was, of course, to change all my tires. And when I was going to buy the tires, I bought all brand new tires. This was in 2013. Remember, that's about 12 years ago. I bought all brand new tires. So then I think maybe months down the line or about a year down the line, when I was now going to, decide to change tires again, when I got there, for some reason, I'm still trying to exactly remember how, but someone told me that I could as well buy Tokumbo tires. Why do I have to buy brand new tires? That Tokumbo tires are equally as good and I don't get to spend so much. So I thought, okay, not a bad idea. So I bought the Tokumbo tires, as they call it, and that was about it. And after then, I never bought brand new tires. And I think I've used maybe 4 or 5 cars after then, vehicles. I mean, between the last 12 years or thereabouts. But I've never bought brand new tires for any of them. Once I get the cars, immediately I just, change all the tires, we call it first grade Tokumbo tires. And over time, my assumption was that brand new tires were so expensive, or maybe significantly more expensive than, as they call it, Tokumbo tires. So I kept buying my Tokumbo tires all the while. Until I, by chance met Prince Ike Okoye, and we got talking. And interestingly, it was at his shop I bought my first set of brand new tires in 2013. So by coincidence, we met again after, and I was like, we got talking, and so I told him I wanted to buy tires. So he said, I said, okay, I want to buy Tokumbo tires. How much are you going to sell them for me? And he told me the price and all of that. And he said, you know what? Why don't you just buy brand new tires? I was not like, brand new tires. Why would I want to buy brand new and spend like 150,000 to buy a brand new tire? If I'm buying for that's about 600,000 naira. And he told me, no, brand new tires are not that expensive. That it's not. And when he told me the price of the brand new tires, it was barely two times of the Tokumbo tires. In my opinion, I thought maybe it was maybe 4 or 5 times higher. So I was like, why would I be putting myself through all that stress when I could as well have bought? And immediately I decided, okay, you know what? I bought brand new tires. And since then, I've made up my mind. And this happened maybe about 2 months ago, a month or two ago. And I've told myself I'm never going to buy Tokumbo tires anymore. Of course, I'm an educated person, but because I was ignorant and I assumed. So in this space, you can actually assume, you're right. But that was just what, and we got talking, and I mean, I saw the level of, intelligence the man was, exuding. We talked about a lot of things, Nigerian roads. And I said, you know what? We're getting to the festive season. Why don't we have a conversation around this? Basically, I'm just giving you all the foundation of this particular, webinar today. And we said, okay, yeah, let's do it, let's do it. But we also thought that it won't be enough to just, speak from the point of a salesperson or a tire retailer and someone with experience of the top tire brands and all that. Why don't we try make sure we have someone from the regulatory space there? And of course, we got talking, and then I reached out to my friend, Opeyemi Omotoshopelumi. He's actually here right now. I see you, Opeyemi. Thank you very much. And I reached out to my friend, and I said, look, because he works with the FRSC, I said, look, I need you to be in this webinar. And he said, okay, you know what? I might not be able to do it, but I have someone who can do this. And of course, it's a very, very organized system. That's the Federal Road Safety Commission. So I eventually got connected to SRC, Jesse, and she told me, oh, you know what? I'll have to take permission from my bosses. I can't just agree. And I was impressed that, yeah. And eventually we got, and that's why we have her here. And thank you again, once again, SRC, Jesse, for joining us here. And then, of course, I have a friend, a very good friend too, who we are partners. We worked together for years now. And then one of the entities within our group, right, is called TGL, where they have the managed fleet operations. They have trucks. They do distributions. They do, they do this across different, FMCGs and all. Basically, they are very heavy in the logistics space. And I thought that, I remember there was a conversation we had, and she mentioned that sometimes when they buy tires, now the tippers, these big trucks they use, some use as many as 24 tires at a go. Now, each of those tires, she says, cost them about 250,000 naira. Can we stop playing with the screen, please? I think someone is just scrolling all through. We can actually download. There's a link to download. But can we just leave the screen for now so it doesn't, cause a bit of attention deficit or something? Thank you so much. Oh, somebody's still writing on the screen. Okay, I think I'm going to have to revoke some permissions now. Please, can we stop writing on the screen, please? Can we stop writing on the screen? Can we stop writing on the screen? I'm trying to revoke some more access here so that, okay. And I think this is where I'm going to be needing my assistants to please step in so we don't have too much distractions. All right, so back like I was saying, so of course, and I remember she almost mentioned to me then that when they buy these tires for about 250,000 naira per one, and sometimes when the trucks go on, very long trips, go maybe to the north and all that, by the time they come back, many of these tires are worn out. So my calculation was that at every single point in time, these trucks have 250 times 24. That's about we're talking about 600,000 naira. I mean, sorry, 6 million naira. Yeah, 6 million naira worth of tires at every point in time. And then they go on one long trip and come back, and lots of these tires are worn out. How do you cope with that? So these are the things we want to talk about among many other things. I just thought to give that introduction before I begin to introduce my panelists. So I'm going to be introducing them one after the other. Then, of course, I'm going to read about, I'm going to give us more introduction into the conversation, and then we take it from there. So let me quickly take my panelist citations already. I'm going to start with SRC, Jesu Tomipe Mala Igbaraola, Superintendent Route Commander, Jesu Tomipe Ololade Igbarola, MPIA, ANIPR, currently serves as staff officer at the Corps Public Education Office at the Federal Road Safety Commission, National Headquarters, Abuja. She is also an associate member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, a certified first responder trained by globally recognized bodies. She has championed road safety awareness on leading radio and television platforms across Nigeria. Jesu Tomipe has initiated impactful programs such as the Road Safety Youth Hangout, Women in Uniform, and extensive first responder trainings. Her work has earned multiple commendations and awards for innovation and excellence. She brings remarkable expertise, clarity, and passion to this webinar. Please, can someone stop playing with the screen? Webinar on tire safety, responsible travel, and saving lives for all travelers. You're welcome again, SRC Jesitomi P. Mala Igbarola. Can we just have maybe a word for a minute from you? Just more like, just tell us, give us
Thanks.
our appetite a bit before we move on. Thank you. Over to
All
you.
right. A beautiful evening to everyone. And I'm so excited to be here this evening. I'm personally excited about this topic. I have a life, experience when it comes to tire. And then I think the experience is one of the reasons why I'm still in the Federal Road Safety Corps. So when we start the conversation, I'll let you know why. It's really personal to me, very, very personal. And by the time I share the story, you would understand why I said, okay, we have to do this. Anything related to tire, as for me, it's different, and you will hear the story very soon. So thank you so much for having me.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, SRC Jesutomikpe Igbarola, for that introduction. Next on my list is my very personal friend, right, Prince Ike Okoye. I'm going to be reading his citation very quickly, and then he's going to give you a quick introduction, and we move forward. Prince Ike Okoye, also BSc in accounting and an MBA, but his most defining professional strength is his vast and unmatched experience for over 20 years in the tire industry. He began his journey as a major dealer for Michelin and Dunlop at a time when both global brands were still manufacturing in Nigeria. Through these engagements, he gained deep practical knowledge of tire composition, durability, performance, and market dynamics, expertise that has distinguished him as a trusted authority among peers and clients. His long-standing involvement in the sector has equipped him with insights spanning product quality, customer needs, and evolving industry standards. Prince Okoye is the MD CEO of Samsco Ike Tires, a leading tire sales distribution company, and he currently serves as the financial secretary of the Akure Motor Tire Dealers Association, where his wealth of experience supports industry organization and growth. He is married and blessed with a child. Welcome, Prince Ike Okoye. Can you confirm you can speak now? If you can unmute yourself so we can allow you introduce yourself in about a minute. Thank you very much. Prince Ike Okoye, are you able to speak? I see you're
Okay.
unmuted now, but we still cannot hear you.
Uh,
Okay, I think we can hear you now. Maybe it looks like I hope it's not his network. Because interestingly, we had a dry run just barely an hour ago, and everything seems so beautiful. But that's not a problem. I'm sure it's going to get us sorted out. On that note, I'm going to be introducing our next panelist. That is Oluwaseun Mamoye. Yeah, she's my colleague. She's my friend. I was going to say she's my aburo, but I'll get into trouble. So we tend to joke between ourselves. I'm about I think 41 days older than her, and I'm always rubbing it in all the time, and she's always also trying to rub it in too. But anyways,
Hello.
that's on another side. Okay, I think Ike Okoye is able to speak now. Prince Ike, you can go ahead, please.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Can you
let's
hear
go
me
back.
now?
I can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
I was having a bit of network issues, so
It's all right.
um, like you rightly mentioned earlier, how we met. Good evening, everyone. It's really good to be here. I'm excited to be here as well. Every opportunity I get to speak and share in my knowledge about vehicle tires, I always welcome them because as far as vehicles are concerned, you can never undermine the importance of tires to the vehicle. I always say one of the two most important things in vehicle is your tire and your brake system. So I'm always glad to share my wealth of knowledge, with people, both motorists and passengers alike. So yeah, very much excited to be here today. And like you said, the way the whole conversation started that got us here It's actually very interesting to think
Yeah.
it was just a couple of weeks ago, and here we are. So I'm very much glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prince Okoye, for that very beautiful introduction. Yeah, on that note, I go to Oluwaseun Mamoye. I'm going to be reading a citation very quickly, and then we're going to allow just say one or two words. As executive director at TGL, Oluwaseun Mamoye brings deep expertise in operating lists, fleet management, and road safety focused logistics operations. She has overseen the procurement, deployment, and management of more than 40 trucks through long term operating lease agreements across Nigeria. Her leadership ensures every fleet development follows strict tire safety protocols, preventive maintenance schedules, and full compliance with roadworthiness standards. She has supervised tire management systems, driver training, and road risk assessments that reduce downtime and improve long haul safety. Oluwaseun offers practical insight on tire care, fleet safety culture, and how structured operating lease models enhance road safety for travelers, transport companies, and all road users nationwide. Thank you very much for joining us, Oluwaseun. Please, can you confirm you're here? And
Yes, I am. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here. You're my aburo. You have to take it. You don't have to debate that. But then this is a very interesting topic. Is what we deal with on a daily basis, right? And it would be nice to hear every other person's insights on how to um, make this better for the logistics business. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Oluwaseun. Thanks for joining us. And of course, the expectation too is that from this webinar, we're all going to talk about not just about the tires and all that. We also want to know what we do. You wanted to share personal experiences, from the regulatory area, from the road safety. Of course, you want to share experiences from your business as a tire salesman and all of that. Of course, you want to share experience from fleet operations management and many other details. And this is not only restricted to the panelists. Our audience, you also have the opportunity to also share your insights. Oh, I see a comment from OGO. Or is that Ogo? I guess. Yes, and very intelligent man. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Please feel free to drop comments. If you have any, you want to drop them in the comment section, please. Of course, at some point, if there's a need for you to speak, maybe after the panelists are done, we can take a lot of your insights because my understanding is also that we have a lot of very, very intelligent professionals who are here and we might have one or two things to also throw in as part of the conversation. So thank you again to my panelists. And then I'm going to go finally to my citation. I don't know if it's okay for me to read my citation, but I'll just read it anyway. Now, Michael Olubenga Shile, that's me, is a seasoned consultant, trainer, and strategist with over 15 years of experience in educational consulting, brand management, capacity building, and organizational development. As the principal consultant at Dinamico Consulting, he has led the design and delivery of impactful training workshops, coaching sessions, and development programs for individuals, schools, and organizations. His facilitation style blends clarity, creativity, and practicality, ensuring participants gain both knowledge and actionable tools. Beyond consulting, Michael has held senior leadership roles at various organizations, including executive director, consultant, and partner positions, where he strengthened his expertise in process automation, client management, and team leadership. An economics graduate of Lagos State University, he is passionate about helping people and institutions unlock potential and achieve sustainable growth. All right, that's me, and I'll be moderating this session tonight. And I look forward to a very interesting time. It's 7:22 a.m. p.m. Africa Lagos time right now. So we're 22 minutes into the conversation. And at this point, I'm going to be going into the details of what we have here today. Right, as the background here. The festive season is one of the busiest travel periods in Nigeria. Every December, millions of Nigerians journey across cities and states to reunite with loved ones, celebrate or conduct business. Unfortunately, this period also records a significant rise in road crashes and fatalities. According to the data from the Federal Road Safety Corps, between January and June 2025, there were 5,281 road crashes, resulting in 2,838 deaths and over 17,000 injuries. Studies have consistently shown that tire failure is among the top mechanical causes of road accidents in Nigeria, accounting for between 6% and 9% of total road crashes annually. In a nationwide FRSC survey of more than 30,000 vehicles, 40% of tires were found to be expired, and 44% of those tires were fitted on commercial vehicles. This alarming data underscores the urgent need for continuous public education on tire safety, especially during the festive travel rush. Conversations around tire safety often spark debate, Do tires actually expire? Is tire failure more a function of time, usage, or both? How do drivers identify expired or unsafe tires? What preventive measures can private motorists and fleet operators take to ensure safety? This webinar seeks to address these pressing questions by bringing together experts from the tire industry, logistics, fleet management, and the Federal Road Safety Corps to share insights, correct misconceptions, and promote life-saving practices on Nigerian roads. Of course, we see the objectives of this webinar today, which is to raise awareness on the role of tire condition and maintenance in preventing road accidents. So before I go ahead, I recall that while I was speaking to a couple of people that, oh, would you like to join this webinar today? They said, oh, I don't have a car, I don't drive, so how am I going to join? And we said, no, it's all about whether you drive. The fact that you have to go into a vehicle, whether it's a car, whether it's a bus, whether it's a truck, whether it's a trailer, whether it's even a bike, I dare to say, the fact that you have to go into a vehicle means that if the tire of that vehicle is not in good condition and anything goes wrong, your life is in danger. So it's not only about you having a car alone. The fact that you ply the route, that you go through this route, means you should also be conscious about it. You should be able to speak to your driver that, look, this tire is not okay. I don't want to enter your bus. I don't want to enter your vehicle because I don't trust your tire. I think you should change that tire. And if that driver eventually changes the tire, trust me, you just save the lives of every passenger on that seat. Perhaps that tire was just in his last moments. Now, we also want to clarify misconceptions about tire expiry, lifespan, and the factors that cause tire degradation. Now we hear this argument. Some will tell you that a tire lasts for 4 years. Tires expire is 4 years. Some will say, okay, so the question now arises. If I buy a tire, right, maybe in 20, okay, can I confirm I'm still audible, please? Can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Apologies, I had a power glitch, and I think it disturbed the Wi-Fi, but I think I'm back now. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Adeyemi Ayodeji. I see your comments too. Thank you very much, sir. So yes, we're talking about that, right? Like I said. So does it mean that if I buy a tire in 2018 and I don't use that tire for 4 years? These are questions we want to ask. Is it that there's something in that tire that even if I don't use it, makes it begin to wear out? Or what if I buy a tire and within 1 year, I travel kilometers? Maybe I go to Kaduna, from Lagos to Kaduna like 20 times. Will that tire last for 4 years? So these are the things we want to address in this webinar today. We also want to provide practical guidance to motorists and fleet operators on tire inspection, purchase, and replacement. We also want to talk about the FRSC regulation and enforcement practices around tire safety and roadworthiness. I've seen a lot of Nigerians who, of course, I'm sure SRC, Jesse Tomikwe is going to talk a lot about that. We've also had things like the road safety are probably one of the most hated I don't know, is it paramilitary now or hated regulatory officers in Nigeria?
Yes,
You agree with me? Good. So I want to wonder, why do they hate road safety so much? They say, oh, road safety, they're not doing anything there. But we want to hear how much you're going to tell us in that regard. So we see how much the FRSC is doing. Paramilitary, thank you very much, Okoyemi. I see your comment there. Of course, then finally, we want to encourage a proactive vehicle maintenance culture, particularly ahead of the festive travel periods. This period, a lot of Nigerians are going to be traveling. In fact, I am traveling tomorrow. This weekend, I'm going to be doing like 2-3 trips. When I can imagine how many Nigerians are traveling to their villages to go spend Christmas with their loved ones. And definitely, and this is not me being wicked or saying anything wrong, we're definitely going to still have accidents. And why do these accidents happen? So we want to see how can we minimize it. If people know better, we're able to minimize these accidents. Thank you. I move on to, of course, our audience. We have lots of them already here. We expect that right here today we have private motorists, we have commercial transport and logistics companies, we have fleet and safety managers, tire dealers and mechanics, driving schools and automobile engineers, and of course, general public and road safety enthusiasts. So please feel free to share the link with them. Let them join this conversation. There's a lot we're going to be talking about. So I've talked about my panelists already. I'm not going to be going into that detail anymore. But then we're going to be going right into the key discussion areas of this webinar. And of course, I want to thank my panelists again for agreeing to do this with me. Yes, let's look at the first point. We have about 6 talking points for this in this conversation. Tires and road safety. Now, we looked at the facts and figures from the FRSC and industry stakeholders. So I want SRC, Jesu Tomipe, to just throw a bit more light on that. Tires and road safety. What's the relationship really? I mean, is it just tires? What about some would think engines are more important. How important are tires really? And of course, let's work with the facts and figures. I've shared already, but then I hand over the floor to you for the next 10 minutes or less. And please, let's have you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much for having me once again, and a beautiful evening to everyone. My name is Jesu Tomipe Barola. I'm a Public Enlightenment Officer of the Federal Road Safety Corps National Headquarters in Abuja. Well, when I started earlier, I said anything that has to do with tire eats differently. So let me start with the story. About 30 years ago, 29 years and a half now, my father traveled to Lagos for a wedding with my mom and other family members. And on their way back to Ibadan, there was a tire burst. Unfortunately, the driver had to, apply the brakes immediately. The vehicle somersaulted, went into the bush. People got injured. Well, my dad didn't die on time, and he was even trying to help other people. And I got into the hospital. I'm talking about 29 years ago, and it was Federal Road Safety Corps personnel that actually rescued, took them to the hospital. He was the notice they had internal bleeding, an associate professor in the University of Ibadan, and he died just like that, tire burst. And many years down, I told myself I was going to study medical, like I'll study medicine. I don't want anybody to die of road traffic crash again and what have you. I don't want anybody to die of internal bleeding. Unfortunately, I couldn't study medicine. And about 10 years or thereabouts ago, I found myself in road safety. So when I had the opportunity to work here, and then God had to remind me, this is it. You didn't want anybody to die of internal bleeding. You're not a doctor. Now you're in the Federal Road Safety Corps. Use your voice to preach the gospel of safety. And then everyone using the road, tell them what they need to know. Because some people might not be lucky when you lose a breadwinner, so to say, or you lose a loved one. There are different reactions to it, and the impact it has on people is actually different. My family was lucky; grace found us, but some people have not been lucky. Once they fall victim of crashes like this, you lose your father, you lose your mother, you lose a breadwinner. Parents who lose a child, they might not come out of it, and then the ripple effect over the years will still be there. So the moment Officer Pelumi called me and said, Tyre, I said, say no more, let's go. Okay, so tire is a rubber component. I want you to bear that. I want you to have that at the back of your mind. This is just a rubber. Imagine you driving on the road. You are moving from point A to point B. And the connection between that vehicle you are using and the road is just a rubber component. So the moment you have it at the back of your mind that it is actually a rubber component that is moving you, then you will know that rubber component, you have to take good care of it. You have to be extremely conscious of it. It's just a rubber component, inflated. So if you're driving on a rubber, why should I go and use any rubber to move when I know that if this rubber should burst, anything can happen? I'm using the very, very simple word. So you're driving on a rubber. Don't get it twisted. It's tire, but it's still a rubber component, right? And then it's just inflated, an inflated rubber. Now they tell you, oh, this is the tire you're supposed to use. This is the specification of tire, and you see it as tire, bro, rubber. So take it seriously, because when you are on the road, that is the only connection between your vehicle and the road. So why won't we pay attention to tire? And as for the Federal Road Safety Corps, we have our regulations, we have our law books that guide us, and I'll be stating a few for us to understand that when we are talking about tire, it is not a joke, because tire has sent a lot of people to either heaven or hell. Although it sent my own father to heaven, I don't know where it has sent other people, but we don't want it to send other people to places again. So you have to do something. So according to regulation of the Federal Road Safety Corps, that is our National Road Traffic Regulation 2012, Section 119, it says a motor vehicle and a trailer shall be fitted with pneumatic tires. When I say pneumatic tires, I mean tires that are filled with air under pressure to provide cushioning between a vehicle and a road, right? So it is expected that every vehicle is fitted with a pneumatic tire on all its wheels, not just three wheels. We've seen videos whereby a vehicle will have just three tires, and I'm wondering what is going on in this person's mind. How can you be driving with three tires? How? Who does that, right? So you're expected to have your pneumatic tires on all your wheels, and at no point, the tire, the rubber components we're talking about, they have the width, they have the thickness, we have an expected, everything has a specification. I would actually allow the specialist in tire to talk about that. There's a specification, and then we expect that rubber component that is moving you from point A to point B, it is expected to be at a certain level. It is just a rubber that has been given design. We have different designs on the tire. When you're talking about, we have the summer tire, we have winter tire, we have all weather tire, and then we have different markings on this tire. So that rubber components that they've given different threads, right? It is expected that you have it on all your wheels. The four, they must be there. And also another regulation, section 2 now talks about the regulation 119 subsection 2 now says no person shall use or cause to be used on a road any motor vehicle or trailer of which is fitted with a recut pneumatic tire. That is where the fake or the Tokumbo tires are coming in. I give us a story again. In 2015, when I just joined road safety, so around 2016, when FRSC started the Know Your Tire campaign, we did one campaign, then Know Your Tire campaign. We were moving around because we noticed that we needed to enlighten the vulcanizers, that different people had to come on board so they actually know what is happening. And then I was speaking to my friends and I told them, oh babes, you have to buy new tires. Oh. And they were like, no, how can they buy? I remember then new tire was 15,000 naira. One of my friends that works in bank, and she was like, how can she buy a brand new tire 15,000 naira? That's a whole lot of money. Then she buy 4 tires for 60,000. No, she cannot afford it. It's a lot. I said, okay, that's fine. Just a few weeks down the line, a friend of ours was getting married, and then we had to buy a shrebi. And the ashrebi was for 35 or 40,000 naira. And lo and behold, my friend was the first to pay for this ashrebi. Value. So she actually placed more value on a mundane thing, which is ashrebi, as against buying a new tire. She believed buying a new tire was too expensive, but she had the money to buy ashrebi. And this is why we want people to know about their tire. If only she knows that tire she has refused to buy can actually save her. Because if anything should happen to that tire, if there's a tire burst and then you are not lucky on the road, it can actually take anybody's life. But she preferred to buy the Ashrebi, and then I nailed her. She felt so guilty all the way. And then you're like, okay, at least she will buy 2 tires. Right? So we are just trying to tell people that we do not encourage people to, don't joke with your lives when it comes to tire. Tire is very, very important. Before I came up, I checked for October 2025, just this year, we have about 794 crashes, and we had Because when we're talking about crashes and road safety, we have different factors that lead to this crash. We have the human factor, we have the mechanical factor, and of course we have the environmental factor. So the tire actually falls under the mechanical factor, of which when you're talking about the mechanical factor, the human factor is also inclusive in this, because before the tire will burst, the tire would have been giving you sign. There will be early warning, but your failure to do the right thing to take care of your tire very, very well can actually lead to anything. So we noticed that out of the 794 crashes, part of we have 57 of those crashes were tire related. And that gave us about 5.2%, of the crashes we had just in October were tire related. Do you know what 5.2% means? That is a whole lot. We're not talking about 1% or 0.5%, like 5.2% is tire related. And this is actually avoidable, because when these crashes happen, many a time it leads to fatality. And you know what? Some people don't live to tell the story. Some people don't live to tell the story. And some people would have even, there are times a tire burst could happen at night and then your vehicle somersaults and goes into the bush. If no vehicle was passing at that point in time, they might not even get to know that something had happened. And the person might just be stuck in the bush and people will just die there. So many a time, people don't live to tell the story of what has actually happened. And that is why we don't want us to be part of these numbers anymore. There's something we say we have the faces behind the figures, and then we have, people behind the figures of road traffic crashes. And tire burst is actually one of the major causes. A lot of people have these issues, and then of course we don't want you to be victims of it any longer. And that is why road safety is saying ensure you check your tires, make sure your tires are in good shape, your tires are in good condition. So sometimes people don't even know, oh, you're telling us to check our tires. How do we do that? There is a drill we expect every road user, every driver. There is a drill we expect from you every day before you leave your house. We call it the WAFT. That is the WAFT. You check your water, you check the oil, you check your fuel, and of course your tire is very, very important, right? We expect you to check your tire, and if you notice that your tire has gone down, it is expected that it is inflated after moving for like 20 meters, because once you have moved beyond 20 meters or thereabouts, you might not be able to get the exact pressure you are putting into your tire, right? And then when you check that, you notice, oh, this tire, oh, I already have a flat tire, or you've checked, oh, the hair is not enough. Please make sure you inflate your tire before embarking on the journey, because the moment you start moving, remember I said tire is a rubber component and it expands, right? So it's just like you having a balloon. If you blow your balloon and then you keep pumping air, pumping air, it gets to a point that it can actually blow out, right? Because there's an expected pressure that you're supposed to put in a tire. So we tell people, once you check in the morning, make sure that if it's still fine, you are good to go, then you don't have to put anything. You don't have to, inflate it. But if you notice it's not good enough, bro, look for a vulcanizer. And then I mentioned earlier that when we started the Know Your Tire campaign, part of the people we targeted were the vulcanizers. We noticed that they are the real suspect here. You see a commercial bus driver get to a vulcanizer and just say, oh, in Yoruba, I'm Yoruba, and they say, oh, yeah, me pour 40 round, 40 round. And they'll just pour 40 for you, not even knowing the expected one. When you are taking 40 psi and then you are meant to have 35 psi in your vehicle, then by the time you are moving, if you are supposed to have 35 psi and then you are moving with time, as you are driving the vehicle, the tire will be expanding. So if you start with 40 psi, then when it's expanding, what's going to happen if it goes beyond the expected pressure? You should expect a tire burst. So this and many more. I know that I know I still expect some leading questions. I have lots of points here, but I'm just trying to pull left, right, center. Of course, we have a lot of things to discuss, and I know we have experts. So let me just stop here
All
for now.
right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, FRSC Jesse Tomike. That was detailed. That was quite a lot. I mean, I'm so glad we're recording this session, because trust me, a lot of people are not here. I'm not sure I want them to miss this at all. Thank you again. Thank you again for all that. Those detailed insights. Now we go to the next talking point there. We're talking about understanding tire expiry. the science behind time, usage, and environmental effects. Vet thinks about, I don't want to call it a myth now. Some will tell you that, oh, once you buy a tire, after 4 years, it expires. So my question now is that if I buy that tire and I fix it in my car, and maybe I only use it just for 1 month and I don't use it again, maybe I park the car in my compound, does it mean that if I come back in 4 years' time, that tire has expired? So these are some of the questions we want to look at. And I want us to look at this, especially from the viewpoint of someone in that space, someone who deals with tires. That's why we're going to be having Prince Ike Okoye respond to this. Of course, I still want to get some insights too from you, SRC, Jason Tomipe. Again, maybe when it's done, you might just give us a bit of a counter opinion there. I expect there might be some controversy around this one, but I'm happy to hear it. Right. So Prince Ike Okoye, if you're here, can we have your thoughts, please? Understanding Tyre Expiry, the science behind time, usage, and environmental effects. You have 10 minutes. If you could keep it lower, I would be very grateful. So this is 7:44. I will stop you at exactly 7:54 if you're not done yet. I hope you don't use all the
Oh,
time, though. Thank you.
yeah, I hope so. I hope so too. But most importantly, ensuring I, pass the most valuable information out there.
Exactly.
So, good evening once again. My name remains Ezekiel Koye, and I quite follow through with what SRC has said. You know, um, Obviously she knows her knowledgeable about this tire field. So straight to your question about expiration of tires. With no doubt, tires do expire. For obvious reason. This is made from rubber. Some of them are synthetics, more or less petroleum products. So obviously, with time, degradation will occur, wear and tear will occur, and in most cases, especially for us that is living in a tropical part of the world, you have the influence of heat on your tires, and chemicals. They lose the company because they use chemicals in producing these things. Like I said, petroleum products as well. So for obvious reasons, it's a matter of time. It will, expire. So they do obviously expire. But I think in Nigerian space, the bigger question has always been the length. Uh, you know, how long it takes a tire to expire. And I've learned from a lot of the road marshal, the federal road safety, the tires expire in 4 years. I'm glad that our SRC is here. So, and I've always had this argument with them that tires do not expire in 4 years. Um when Dunlop and Michelin were manufacturing here in Nigeria before both of them moved out to South Africa and Ghana respectively, I've been opportune to, have visits to this company, throw in one or two of these, questions. And to the best of my knowledge, tires actually um, could stay, we call it shelf life, okay? And that shelf life can range from 6 years to 10 years. Now depends on the manufacturer. The components they use in manufacturing that particular tire will come into play. The quality of the synthetic use will come into play. So some of these things are what will determine how long the tire stays. But I do understand the angle that the federal road safety will always come about these 4 years, because at the end of the day, it's for our own safety. So the shorter it is, the better it is for you. But why I stress this is, for a lot of people I have this discussion with, is that it is even more about the usage of these tires, because sometimes you could use tire for 6 months and you have to change it. It depends on how often you use the vehicle. um Take for example, you see all these our buses that are always on the road. You would not expect them to use those tires for even up to a year. These people travel every day, are always on the road. So in long story short, is tires expire, and from the manufacturer's point of view, expiration of tire lasts between 6 years to 10 years. But that said, there are a lot of things that can affect the quality of your tires. And those things are the ones that will happen naturally, such as the fact that the rubber will deteriorate, oxidization will take place. That is when some of these tires starts to harden up. These are just natural processes, that takes place with them. Like I said earlier, tropical areas like Nigeria, the heat we experience here, the sun will always play its own natural role on the quality of these tires. And I don't know if we're all about other things that can cause tire failure now, but since I still think I have some ample of times, let me touch one or two, because our SRC has also said one or two things about that. Uh, Things like underinflating your tires. She talked about overinflating your tires. When you overinflate your tires, what you actually do is you stress them. Uh, the
It
amazing
appears
thing
it's having a
about
bit
your
of a
tires
network
is,
glitch. Let's just maybe give me a few more seconds to.
okay, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, so I can go ahead.
Yes, please. Go ahead, please.
Okay, so like I pointed out, you overinflating your tires is actually you stressing those tires out. And I can bet you every information you need about your tires are actually on the body of your tire. Um, so when you check your tires, there's a place they write PSI, right? That is the maximum air pressure you can have in your tires. So imagine a vehicle that has 44 psi as the maximum. Now I need to break this maximum down for you. Being the maximum doesn't actually mean you can put that particular maximum number in that tire. And I'll explain why. See, places that are, the cold region areas, the pressure there is low. So when they are moving, there's actually, they don't experience, the heat or extra pressure that is going in their tire. What I'm trying to say is that you see that maximum that is on your tires is not meant for you as far as you're in Nigeria. It's meant for those in colder areas. So you need to actually put in 4 or 5 psi less than what, or even more in some cases, less than what you see in that tire. Because this is what literally happens when you are traveling. As you are traveling, the pressure, the heat, it actually those tires gets an extra air inside them as they are moving. And to make it crazier is the fact that even sometimes when you actually park your vehicle on a spot, especially this period that we're experiencing surging heat, it actually also do get some airs inside your tires. So you might as well want to, you know, reduce that air so that when you are moving, um, it now becomes like takes it to at least something below what the manufacturing company actually recommended. A lot of you too do experience what we call contour in tires, especially when you enter potholes. So this is what happens when you overpump and you are moving. It's not having an extra force on it, so nothing happens at that point. But at the slightest pothole that you enter, it will mount in an extra pressure, and because it came with a force. What's supposed to happen is for the tire to burst, right? So when there's an expansion, this rubber is not elastic, so it's not going to go back. It will maintain that position that it has dragged the rubber to. That's an extra. So in a situation where it doesn't burst, just be grateful because the worst was averted. So you don't want to underinflate as well. Underinflation will cause your vehicle to be slow. There will be wear, edgy wear and tear of your tires. Um, and then you don't want to overload. Every tire has the maximum load that it can carry, and a lot of us do not know that. And you don't want to overspeed because your tires have a specific speed that you should not go over, or else you are actually stressing that tire out. So what makes it crazier is that the importers just import anything they want into the country, and you don't even know. That's how you get some products and they are very cheap, and some other ones are more expensive. That's talking about honest dealers now. That's see the onion in that price is in what is in that tire. So each tire has been designated to certain users. So it's not literally every tire you see that you're actually supposed to jump in. You're supposed to get to know more about those tires. So some of the things that can lead to your tires having tire failures is also manufacturer's defect. I always love to state this because
Okay.
the
I think
manufacturers are
Mr.
not
Okoye,
perfect.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Prince Okoye, for that very, very detailed expose on understanding tire expiry. I let me maybe I'll take 2 minutes feedback from SRC just to be very quickly, 2 3 minutes, just so we don't stretch the time. I was hoping Prince will not use more than 5 or 7 minutes so that we can use the remaining time. Oh no, no, let's go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, from the perspective of the FRSC, like you rightly said, we believe that tires will expire in 4 years because we understand that if a tire is carefully used, right, after 2 years, the tire will lose about 20% of its quality. And then when it reaches the third year, it loses about 50% of the quality of the tire. And then, just as you rightly said, considering the condition of Nigeria, ha, it is a different ball game entirely. A lot of things are affecting this, the type of roads we have, the weather condition. You see the way some drivers will drive because of the road. You enter a pothole. All those things, like all those things actually have ripple effects on our tires. So that's why we say after 4 years, of which we believe that once you have covered about 80,000 kilometers, please let that tire rest. Take for example the commercial drivers. Some will drive, okay, they are taking Lagos to Owerri, for example. Like possibly 3 times in a week. You are covering Lagos to Owerri 3 times in a week with the road condition under very, very hot sun. Bearing in mind that they will leave in the morning, they will still be on the road in the afternoon under that hot sun, and even till evening. When will the tire rest? So in fact, that 4 years if is not enough. But I know Nigeria is actually something else. But after 4 years, I think it is fair enough. And that's why I started by saying, remember, it is just a rubber component. So it's not something we should joke with and feel, oh, I think I can always buy a Tokumbo tire. When you shared your experience about the Tokumbo tire, it's something I've also experienced and I have people that have experienced. If you buy that Tokumbo tire, I kid you not, in 4 5 months, you would have to buy another one. So what's the point in going for a Tokumbo tire? Then buy a brand new tire. And then you said something that if I buy a tire now and then is it going to expire? Remember, I will go back to using the word is a rubber component. You see, when you have rubber bands, if you pack a lot of rubber bands and you keep them together and you keep them in a shelf for a very long time, by the time you come back, will the elasticity of the rubber band be the same? No, it will not be the same. Then you notice that if some is already melting, it will be easier to cut it because it has lost part of its shelf life. Now, the shelf life it does not depend on if it is used or not, but as long as it's in existence, the shelf life will reduce. Now, somebody once said, "Oh, he just bought a new tire," and then okay, we still go to the date of manufacturing, but maybe I should quickly say something about that. Unfortunately, I couldn't share my slides, right? You have a tire that you bought and it already has the manufacturing dates. We have it on the walls of the tire, right? I don't know if any of our panelists here would have that picture because I couldn't share mine. And then you already have 4 digits on it. Okay, thank you. Let me
So we're,
see.
yes. So we're sharing now.
Then okay, and then I have another one. I don't know if I shared that with you. There's let me see. I don't know. I actually have two. I don't know if I shared the other one with you.
Mm, okay, no, I think this is the only one that was shared.
Oh dear.
But anyway,
Okay.
our participants, please be aware that you are able to download all these materials. Everything you see being shared there, if you see, there's a small link. like an arrow facing down, so you can download the materials directly as well. That's one of the beauties of this platform. Yes. Well, if you share the
So
other one, I
let
think
me
we can still put it up as well.
let's just use let me use a life example, and then everybody can understand. You see, on the walls of the tire, sometimes you can have you have like 4 digits, like this. Okay, let's do this. Can we all see this? So
Yes,
here
two
we
four two
have
zero.
24. Very good. 2420. You have it on the side of the tire. Okay, the tire that you have here, I don't think the figures are there, but usually you have it on the walls of the tire like this. You can have 2420, right? When you have 2420, the first 2 digits on that stands for the week the tire was manufactured, right? And then the last 2 digits stands for the year the tire was manufactured. So what I have here is week 24 of year 2020. Week 24 of year 2020, right? And that's June, is it? Yes, June 2020. Now imagine somebody in year 2025, or let's say maybe somebody in last year 2024. He now goes to a tire store and he now bought this exact tire that was manufactured on the 6th, 24th week of year 2020. And remember, we said the shelf life of tire is just 4 years. Now, this person bought this tire in the name of a brand new tire in year 2024. And then road safety now apprehends you in year 2025, just a year after, and he said, "Oh, sir, your tire has expired." And he said, "No, I just bought this tire last year. I bought it brand new." Not even knowing that the tire you bought, as at the time you bought it, it had already expired. Remember, it is a rubber component. The shelf life will reduce. So it does not last forever. And also bearing in mind, this is Nigeria. A lot of things are happening. So for your own safety, when we say 4 years, please don't exceed it. Or if you have covered 80,000 kilometers, some people might in 1 year, some people would have covered 80,000 kilometers. People that do, commercial transportation that go far distances, and some people that have bad roads, the areas they live, bad roads. And there are different things that can actually make your tire wear out. Even the alignment. How do we do the alignment of our vehicle in Nigeria? How many people go for proper alignments once they change their tires? Do they check all these things? So these little, all this wheel balancing, they go a long way. All these have ripple effects on your tire. And because Nigerians, we don't really pay attention to details, we can't expect that if a white man would use tire for 4 years, and then in Nigeria we will do the same. My brothers and sisters, it is not the same. So for your safety, please, 4 years or maximum 80,000 kilometers, change those tires. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, SRC, Jesse Tomipi, and of course, Prince Ike Okoye. That was very, very detailed. I'm sure people are learning a lot already. Otumba, I see your comments. Thank you so much. Please, let's all feel free to. I'm sure you might be asking questions now. You could type your questions in the comment section. You don't have to wait until they're all done. You could type the questions there. So, of course, we'll start taking them one after the other. So, we go to the third talking point: tire maintenance 101, proper inflation, rotation, alignment, and inspection. I think SRC, just to make my slides, actually covers quite a lot of that. I was sharing that just moments ago. Like I said, please, you can download it. There's a small link here, a link with an arrow facing downwards. You can download directly for any of the things you have on the screen that you can download them for your further information. So I think we've talked more about it, but I don't know if there's anything else to add, particularly from you, Prince Ike, Okoye, and again, SRC, just to make me tire maintenance, proper inflation. I heard you saying things about PSI and all that. Maybe you want to throw a bit of more light in that rotation, alignment. We're just talking about alignment now. How often do people need to do alignment? For instance, now most of the time, maybe when my mechanic has to maybe work on my car, maybe he works on the shocks or the lower arm and all those things, he will tell me, guy lost your alignment too, because their understanding is that once they've touched that part, your tire would not have that. I mean, I'm not a professional there, so I really can't speak to that, but maybe you want to just stray, bit of more light in that in 2 3 minutes, so we can go into the fleet factor and we'll listen to Monsieur Oluwaseun Mamoye. So anyone wants to go first, Prince Ike Okoye or SRC, just to be clear, particularly looking at tire maintenance, proper inflation, rotation, alignment, and inspection. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So
So
yes.
when should I have my tire alignment done? Anytime you replace suspension or steering components, you must get your tire alignment done. When there is any, you do any replacements on your steering components, please make sure that you get your
Bad.
alignment done, right? Because the way the vehicle works, everything is interwoven. The steering is actually much connected to your tires because that is what controls the movement of the tire. So the moment you have any replacement or anything fixed on your steering components, make sure you get your alignment done. And of course, if you hit any sizable objects on the road, like I said, this is Nigeria. Some people stay in areas where the roads are not hard or probably construction is ongoing. So if you notice that your tire has hit any object on the road, and there are times when our cars hit, you will feel it. Even you'll be like, yeah, you will feel it on behalf of that tire. Please go and check that tire. Because even human beings, it's like me hitting my hand on the wall, the pain, I will check to be sure that, okay, I don't have any scratch, I don't have any pain. So make sure you get it done. Anytime you hit a sizable object on the road, and then when you see a wear pattern developing on the shoulders of your tire, when you see a wear pattern, sometimes when we see our tires, you see the edges. There are people that they will start seeing even the thread. You'll be seeing the metal threads. Anytime you see any wear pattern, there are times that possibly you pick a nail or there's just one weird pattern. You must have it's a very serious subject and you did not pay attention. Possibly you didn't even notice it, but you see any weird pattern, please, alignment is needed. Let me allow Prince Okoye to add his voice also. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Uh, we've talked about checking of the tire pressures as regular as possible. I will always encourage you to get a tire gauge yourself. Buy a tire gauge. It doesn't cost a lot. Over 80% from my experience of those organizers have very bad tire gauge. Some will even pump it and touch it and tell you you are good to go. So please own one yourself if you can. It will help you for the safety of your tires. And inspect your tread, once in a while. We've talked about weight balancing and alignment, the importance. You make some major trips, bad road, there is need for you to do, especially the alignment. And then you want to avoid overloading. And there is also one other issue I would like to talk about, choosing the correct tire for you. Say, if you check at the side of your vehicle, the door, you will see the type of vehicle tire that is correctly designated to your vehicle. Please, this is very important. Sometimes you carry tires that are heavier than what your vehicle should carry. And I'm also going to say this, you have those that will use commercial tires for a private vehicle in the name that it lasts longer. But what you're actually doing is giving your vehicle, especially the legs, the upper arms, and stuff like that, extra pressure because those legs weren't designed to handle a heavy tire that is designed for transportation, commercial purposes. And importance of rotation at times. Your tires learn to sometimes, especially if you're using a front wheel drive, after a year or so, you can move your back tires to the front and move the front tires to the back. They actually help, your tires to last long and also keep you safe as well. And replace your tires when needed. Please do not manage. The last thing you want to manage are your tires. That's the very, very last thing you want to manage. I think I'll also stop here for now as
All
regards
right.
to
Thank you
the
very
tire
much,
section.
Prince Okoye, and of course, SRC just to make again for those insightful feedbacks. Okay, I see Otumba just dropped something in the comment section. It says, "Stray bullet just hits me." Using commercial tires for private car. Okay. I guess it's the reality of a lot of Nigerians. I mean, me inclusive, we don't take these things very, very seriously. But when you see these statistics, like I read earlier, it is really scary. Thank you so much. So let's quickly have Ms. Oluwaseun. She just mentioned to me that she has to join another meeting. So let's quickly allow her take our own feedbacks, our own drop our own contributions very quickly. We're looking at the fleet factor, how logistics and transport companies can manage tire costs without compromising safety. If you remember, I mentioned earlier that in one of our conversations, you and I, and when she mentioned how much they spend per tire on those trucks, when I had 250,000 per tire, and imagine buying 24 of those tires, that means at every point in time, only tires alone on each of those trucks is in excess of 6 million naira, minus every other component. You've not even talked about fuel. You've not even talked about other things you have to maintain. So let's hear your reality. I mean, of course, from that space, managing fleet operations. Over to you, Luashion. Thank you so much. Um, we can't hear you right now. I don't know if you're muted. Let me check it out. Okay, you're not muted. Can you speak again? Oh no, I can't. Can anyone hear Miss Oluwaseun? I can't hear her, but I know I heard her earlier on. Okay, what could be going on? I hope it's not that maybe you muted your volume or your system. Oh, what's going on? I don't think this is from here.
Or
Okay, I think we can.
possibly to enable
Great.
her sound.
No, no, we can't hear us still. Okay, that was you, SRC. Okay. Can you try again now? We still can't hear you. Okay, try again. Try to unmute yourself and okay. Okay, I think she's left. She's gonna rejoin. Okay. Okay,
Am
I
I
think we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you now. Although
oh,
there's a bit of a
sorry.
trouble there.
It was connected to my phone, so I
Oh,
muted
sorry.
my phone. Apologies. Okay. Hi. Good evening. Thank you, Benga. Thank you, Mr. Okoye. That was and Miss Jesu Tomikwe. Right. That's been very insightful. Thank you. So, TGL, the logistics business, we started the trucking aspect of it. Just brief introduction in 2021 officially, right? And right now we have about 40 trucks, heavy duty trucks that haul FMCG products pan Nigeria. So it's been a rule for us, right, from day one that we only buy brand new trucks, brand new tires, sorry. And for safety, for longevity, for all of that. Then a small story. Then early in this year, some of my guys came and said, "Oh, we could actually get used tires, right, at cheaper rates, and we'll get those very good names, Bridgestone, Michelin, and those very big names, right? But then Tokumba ones, and we are able to use them for maybe 7 months." And that was because we're even having issues with the brand new tires we're buying at the time where uh, initially we had said, okay, we could use a tire for 60 to drive up to 60,000 kilometers, right? But then you now realize that after maybe one or two trips, the tires are already wearing out. And we decided to try that. And I realized that that was even worse than buying the brand new tires because these tires were wearing out. You literally leave the yard, right, going to Mubi or Michika. Before you get to Abuja, you have lost like six tires. And then I'm on the road looking for where to buy tires on the road to give the trucks so that the trucks will continue. And you know the trucks are loaded. And then you have the tax force issue on the road because you're packed, right? That you have to pay. FRSC people will come and say they will tell you you have to pay fine, you have to pay this, you have to pay that, you have to do this. At the end of the day, what you think you are saving by buying the fairly used tires, you end up exhausting like double of that on the road, and you still end up buying those tires, those brand new tires on the road still to get to your destination and even to come back. So I would say for any logistics person, I don't know, for any reason, please do not go near, in the name of saving costs, please do not go near used tires, right? Please do not. They are unsafe, they are unreliable. A lot of them have even expired. Like we were saying earlier, a lot of them have even expired, and then you put them on your trucks. And a lot of accidents that we see on the road today. I'm sorry about your story earlier, madam. Right? A lot of accidents that we actually see on the road today are caused by these little factors, things we do not see as very important. Or as long as my tires are complete, even though half of the tires are gone, and then you consider the heat factor, right, on the road. You consider every other factor. Our bad roads, especially during raining season, god, you see some roads that this truck ply and you're like, how, right? And then you have tires that are already worn on those roads, and you see a lot of accidents, you see a lot of things happening. um, a lot of There are some things that happen on the road that we can't control, but the ones we can control, I would say we should just try as much as possible to do what we can do, right, to manage that. Now, coming to optimizing tire costs without compromising safety. So, one of the things we do, I will just use my business as the talking points, right, based on what we currently experience and what we do. Number one is brand new tires. So, what we've been able to also achieve is to create, in the last 4 years, create a database or curate a database of the different type of tires we have used and how many kilometers each of those tires was able to give us before they wear out. So I would say that when we were using Gallant was still trying. At least we could get up to 30,000 kilometers. But the moment we moved to Gladstone was a bit lower than that. We tried tires like Road Wing, like Mirage. Please don't. Right? No, those will not, right? So first thing is to even understand. I think it was Mr. Okoye that said, buy the right tires for your truck, right? So that at the end of the day, you are trying to manage costs, you are trying to save costs, but then the tires you are buying are not suitable for what you are using them for. At the end of the day, instead of being able to drive maybe 4 5 months, you realize that within a month you are changing everything and you are back to where you started in the name of saving costs, right? So, number one is to, and the way we've been able to do it is we've been able to curate that database over a period of time to then know what is suitable for our trucks. For the trucks that use 10 tires, yes, I could do a road wing, I could do a Mirage, right? I could do a Joy, is it a Joystone or something like that? I could do those for, because they are smaller trucks, right? And they travel short distances. So they go to the Warris, the Benin, from here, from Ogun State to Warri to Benin to maybe Ugeli, right? Somewhere in Delta State. Yes, I could do that. But for trucks that are going long haul, I'm going to Michika, I'm going to Meduguri, I'm going to Shokoto, I'm going to, no, right? So we've been able to separate them to know that, okay, these are the tires that suit these roads, and these are the tires that you don't want to put on those roads. That's one. Two, second thing we've been able to also understand is the part of our TMS check. So we call it TMS check. TMS check is our truck maintenance schedule check that happens every time a truck returns from a trip. So once a truck returns from a trip, first thing we do is to check, and the first thing you check is your tires. Number one, there's also the driver factor, where you give them brand new tires as they are leaving. By the time they come back, they've sold half of your tire on the road, and they buy cheaper tires on the road to just to augment, right? You also want to be sure that they are your tires. One, two is to now check the pressure of those tires. No tire leaves the yard, whether to go and load or to do anything, without the pressure being checked, right? They are inflated where they need to be to their normal PSI, depending on the type of tire, like we said earlier, right? And then we are able to ensure that whichever one needs patching is patched, whichever one needs repair is repaired, and that is done before they set out anywhere. They can't leave anywhere, which is why we have our own in-house vulcanizing team. That is their job. Those trucks are coming in, they're experienced in tire management, and I would advise any logistics company to please invest in hiring a tire manager. Please invest in hiring a tire manager, right? It is very important. A lot of these vulcanizers, what they know is, oh yeah, pump, I've pumped, oh yeah, go. I don't carry nail, I don't chook something inside, oh yeah, go, right? And that is where it ends. But a tire manager will be able to understand the pressure, the treading, the gauge, the what for every of those tires, right? So yes, that we have been able to achieve, and it has really helped us over this number of years. Another thing we do, which to optimize the use of tires of our tire costs, right, without compromising our safety, is the alignment and the rotation. There are times when these trucks come back and you realize that okay, you need to move some tires around just to maintain your balance. You need to move some tires around. So some tires from the front, because the trailer carried the load, right? You realize that you have more deflation happening at the back than the front, than the tractors, that's the head of the trucks. So what you want to do sometimes, what we try to do sometimes is just move those tires around so it balance, right? The stability is balanced again, and you can maybe achieve another 10,000 kilometers, right? If I'm doing Mubi is 3,330 kilometers to full. So I can still achieve 3 Mubi on my rotation. I can still achieve a 3 Mubi on my rotation. Then I look at it again. I need to move around again, maybe another side. I'm able to quickly do that, maybe achieve another 2 or 3 Mubi, right? And just make sure that you're moving them around. That way you are able to manage your balance. You are able to manage there's a word I'm looking for, the balance of those tires without necessarily having to buy new ones at that point, right? And then the alignment, like my fellow panelists has said earlier, anything changed on your suspension, please align your tires, because what I've seen is that it starts to eat up those tires. There's this, it starts to eat up those tires, right? And before you know it, you hear, oh, I got to worry and my tire exploded, right? Because somebody is not checking something, which is why I say again, please invest in having a tire manager. It is very important. That way you can manage a whole lot of things, manage a whole lot of headache. Um, then looking at Nigerian roads again, there are ways where there are times when you have planned that okay, I'm going to use this tire for so number of months, so number of kilometers, and that is not the reality, right? It is absolutely not the reality. So what we try to do is to ensure that number one, we always have those tires available. Every month we buy tires, not because we want to just keep spending money on tires, right? But then you want to be sure that as those trucks are coming back, if there is need for replacement. However, what we do, right, is that we've realized over time that when we change part of those tires, so a truck has 22 tires. So it's 22 tires on the truck, then 2 tires for spare. That's how Benga got the 24 for the heavy duty trucks. So you have 22 tires, and you're like, oh, only 5 of those tires have worn out. And then you change those 5, right? I realized that when you change those 5 and you continue, those 5 you change might not last more than a trip or two because of all the other ones that are already worn. A lot of weight is now on the brand new tires, and then they get destroyed fast. You have wasted the money. What's the point? So what we do is this: if you are going to change tires, we change the entire 22 tires at once, and then we pick out the ones we can salvage and give some other trucks that can still use those ones, trucks that are not going to far distances, that can still manage the salvageable tires. That way I have given that truck and those set of tires maybe another 6 months to live, rather than me changing half of it and then within another 1 month it's done, because I've put too much pressure, right, on the brand new ones. It makes no sense. It's not cost effective. You realize over time that you've wasted so much money. It doesn't add up. If you are going to change, just close your eyes and just change all of it and buy more time for your tire. And then there's something they call langa. I don't know if you know that slang, where you have, they are supposed to be two tires, right, on each axle, on each side of the axle. So you have two here, two here, two here, two here. What you see is they put one good tire, one bad tire, one good tire, one bad tire, because of road safety and VIO, so that they don't stop them and tell them their tires are incomplete. Yes, they put one good tire, one bad tire. If that truck survives a trip, it might not survive the second trip. because you are putting so much pressure on the good ones. You are putting so much pressure on the good ones, coupled with the heat, coupled with the bad roads. That's where you hear things like, oh, I was driving and my tire pulled out, right? Pulled out from the axle because it is not well balanced, it is not supported. Or, oh, I was going and I didn't know the other tire, the new tire you gave me exploded. Because that side is carrying the weight of two tires. One tire is carrying the weight because the other one is langa. I don't know I don't have the English word for it. There's nothing there. There's no hair. There's nothing. It's just there, just to for people like you, man, to not arrest us on the road, right? So they put them there in the name of, oh, let's just let the truck go, let the truck go. And at the end of the day, you are compromising safety. You are still going to end up having to buy all of it again, right? So you are losing money, you are risking life, not just the life of your drivers, you are risking your truck, you are risking the life of everybody on the road, because those tires could pull out and, God forbid, cause a fatal accident, right? So please. And another thing that is very equally important is training those drivers, right? One of the things we do in TGL is we also invite FRSC officials. They come to lecture them. So once we know that we'll have a sizable number of drivers available, we check their ETAs. Okay, so, oh, by so day we'll have like 12 drivers on site. They are coming in, right? We have some road safety people we have partnered with. We partner with them across Ogun State because the logistics business actually stationed in Ogun State, not Lagos, right? They are able to come in and lecture them, go to those trucks, train them, let them see, let them understand the implication of some of the things they do. Let them understand the implication of this and that on the road, right? Because they are the ones driving. Yes, they would call to say, oh, my tire got deflated on the road. Oh, this happened to me on the road. But they are the ones driving, they are the ones experiencing it firsthand. The more we train them, and training is not something that happens once. Training has to be a consistent thing. These guys are not like you and I that we went to school, we've worked for so many years. No, this is what they know. They are on the road, right? And a lot of them don't have that knowledge. They don't understand that once you see that something happened to a tire on the road, you stop. Some will continue to drive on that rim and continue to move, right? What is the effect of that? A lot of them don't know. They don't know. It's when you are training them that they will be telling you, oh, we did not know that one. We did not know this one. We did not know that. So regular training of these guys is really going to help a lot. They have to always be aware of how to handle how to care for their tires, how to handle their tires, how to report issues immediately they happen, where to stop once you experience this, what to do, how to do it, right? And as long as people, like, I will always come back to you, madam. You don't arrest us on the road for parking to sort out our issues, to sort out our issues, because that is actually a lot, right? Which is why some of them, I don't blame them, they continue to drive. If you ask them why, they'll tell you, road safety will stop me. They will ask me for 200,000. They will ask me for 300,000. I don't have it. Oh yes, I still paid one yesterday, so I know, right? Oh, they will tow me to their office and I have to pay so amount and all of that, right? And because of that, they continue to drive like that, risking everything on the road as they are going, all because they don't want to be arrested. So education is a regular thing. They have to continue being trained. Talk to them. Communication. There's nothing like over communication. Keep teaching them, keep letting them know, right? And please, another thing I've understood with this, which is the last thing I'm going to second to the last thing, is retreading, right? That's another way to manage costs without really risking anything, without risking without risking any safety rules, right? Is retreading. Some of these tires can actually be retreaded. Retreading gives them a little bit more lifespan. So you take them, there's a process for the retreading. The retreading is done, they can still give you a few more kilometers, right? While you plan yourself to procure new ones, right? So that's another thing that we try to do that works for us. And the last one is, please know your vendor, know your supplier, know the person you're buying from. Not everybody, you can't just buy tires from everybody, right? They are tested vendors, they are trusted vendors. They are yes, it might be slightly more expensive than when you go into the market and just pick up somebody. But at least you know the person we buy tire from right now already knows. If I buy tire from you, if anything happens within the first is it 2 months or 3 months, you have to replace those tires, right? And it's a signed contract. So he will not sell us bad tires because he knows that if he does that, right, he's going to lose because he has to replace those tires based on the contract signed. So please, we need to know where we are buying from. Who is the vendor? Who are we buying from? Are they tested? Are they trusted? Right? A lot of people. I had a vendor that would tell me every time I call for tires, madam, there's a new one that just came out. This tire is so good, but it just came out. How did you know that it's so good? Right? It literally just told me it just came out. Have you tested it? Who have you sold it to? Who has used it? How long have they been using it? I just came out, but it's really strong. How did you know? Right? Which is why it goes back to where I started from. What we have done is we've created a database over a period to say, okay, these are the tires that work for us. They are tires that we will not buy. We will not buy because of experience, because we've used them and we know that no, they won't work for our business. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Mamoy, for that very, very detailed intervention. Very, very brilliant. Thank you so, 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 so much. I don't know if SRC just wants to respond a bit. I noticed there were a few one or two jabs that were thrown. I was hearing things like 200 million naira and all those things. Or was it
No, I said
200,000? Anyway,
200,000.
I deliberately exaggerated that one. All right. I
I
don't know
know,
if
right?
you want to quickly respond before we take the last. We have just two more talking points. So basically, it's still going to
No,
be
I think
useful.
we
Maybe
should
what
just
you'll
take the
do,
last person because
maybe you just
the
respond
money they
to.
collected must have been for towing. If your vehicle
Okay,
is sold off the road, you must pay. Because
of
any
course.
vehicle parked on the road is a potential, is a potential threat to another vehicle. Many a
Mm,
time when we have these trucks parked on the road, just because of one truck, we could have traffic for over 2 hours. You have hundreds of vehicles burning their fuels just because one vehicle has stopped on the road. So we'll rather remove that one and we will bill you for towing and allow other road users to go gently. So whenever they bill you for such, it's not because they want to do you sketchy or they want to be mean. We are only helping you to remove that truck from the road. We are keeping it safe for you so that it will not create another threat or another crash that can actually happen. Because many times we have crashes related to stationary vehicles. When vehicles are not when they are not visible. That's why we encourage people to put retroreflective signages on their vehicles so that especially trucks, we have lots of cases of load crashes with people eating stationary vehicles. So that's why we help you, madam. That's why we assist you to remove that your truck from the road, but you will pay for towing.
Thank you.
Eh,
All right.
Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go to this fifth talking point. The role of regulation, the FRSC tire safety campaigns and enforcement actions. So let's, I mean, maybe just give us a bit of insight or two into that. SRC, just to be brief, please.
Okay, so the role of regulations, I think I actually started with that. We have
Mm,
the National Road Traffic Regulation 2012, and as amended in 2022, and we have lots of regulations that guide everything. Before the Federal Road Safety Corps comes out to talk, we are an elite corps actually, and ISO certified. So we have everything backed by law. I've mentioned Regulation 119 that talks extensively about the tires, how you're expected to have pneumatic tires. And then for our safety campaigns, we have lots of campaigns ongoing for that. In FRSC, we believe that we do a lot of enlightenment. I'm a public enlightenment officer, right? We do a lot of enlightenment and we do enforcement because we believe that enlightenment without enforcement is just entertainment. Because if you keep teaching the child, and then you don't examine the child, you don't enforce, how will they do the right thing? So we have lots of campaigns. We have motor park campaigns. We go to parks to enlighten people. During the Know Your Tire campaign, we explain to them. We talk to the organizers around. We do a lot of campaigns. We go to churches and mosques. We call that the domesticated public enlightenment. We go to churches, we go to mosques, we go to schools to even advocate. So even if the father does not want to hear from road safety, when you see me on uniform and I'm climbing your church pulpit and I'm talking to you, at least you respect the anointing flowing from the altar. You will believe what I'm saying and you will listen. And if you don't want to listen to an FRSC person, at least when your chief imam is speaking to you or a road safety officer is speaking through the same microphone that imam is speaking to you, it's gonna eat differently. Then we go to schools, we do what we call the catch them young. If you don't want to listen in the church, you don't want to listen to in the mosque. At least when your child is telling you, Daddy, check your tire. So we do what we call the catch them young. We do school advocacy. We go to schools to talk to these children, let them know the necessary things they need to know. So we do lots of campaigns. Of course, we have media campaigns. We're always on TV. We're on radio. This is a form of campaign, right? So we have lots of campaign ongoing, and of course, enforcement is second to none. If we catch you doing the wrong thing, we will issue you a ticket and you will pay for your fine. We will not scare you because we will rather enlighten you than going for a rescue operation. It's easier to have conversation like this. It's so sweet and we are all speaking English. But bro, when there is a crash and then we have to be using somebody's leg to identify, oh, this leg that caused that way. This is the other leg. We are using leg or shoes to identify people's bodies before we pack them into body bags. That's not a sweet experience, right? And then we have to start carrying somebody, possibly a child. The mother is dead already. You're wondering, oh, who owns this child? Whose child is this? We have all those horrible experiences. So we will rather enforce than carry out rescue. So by the time we enforce and then we issue you a ticket or you go through the procedure and then it's not a palatable one, you won't want to repeat it the second time. You won't want to overload your vehicle. You won't want to drive with the whole tire. So by the time we do that, it's better. So let us help you. It might be painful, but on the long run, we are helping you. So this is sweet. The rescue operation is a no-no. You as a civilian, you don't want to be there when rescue operation is going on. I've seen a case on Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos. A woman's head actually cut off. Yes, I've seen it. The head, in this all these yellow buses, they were going to Idumota and then there was a crash on Third Mainland Bridge. People died. That woman's head cut off like this. The head was separated. It was horrible. So why will we safety now see you and spare you? We are only trying to save you. We are not being mean. We are your friend. The FRSC cares about you, but at least we expect you to do the right thing. So we have lots of safety campaigns ongoing. I don't know if I should go to the festive season. Maybe that would come after. You are muted.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I would have loved us to quickly do that, but I'm seeing a question here. Or maybe should we take the question before we talk about practical travel tips?
All right. That's okay.
Okay. Okay. So here we have so just to we said Tyre Expiry is determined not only by usage but also by time. This raises a concern I have around market practices. We all know businesses are profit driven. So is it possible for some tire vendors to attempt selling tires that are close or already past the expiry date in order to recover the investment? My question now is this: does the FRSC actively monitor and regulate the activities of tire vendors in Nigeria to prevent the sale of expired or unsafe tires? And how does the FRSC go about it?
All
Beautiful
right, thank
question.
you very much. It's actually not in our place to regulate the activities of the tire vendors, but what we do is to go through the Standard Organization of Nigeria, right? When we started the Know Your Tire campaign, it was it was beyond the tripartite agreement. Like even the customs were involved because importing of bad tires and good tires into the country. It was part of the thing. So we had meetings with the customs and collaborations with the Standard Organization of Nigeria because they are the ones that can actually carry out enforcement when it comes to selling of expired tires or unsafe tires. But the best we can do is to advise and tell people, please, if they want to sell it to you, don't buy. I know when I do this enlightenment, I tell people it's just like you going to a drugstore. You want to get a drug, even if the pack of the drug is looking very beautiful. and it is expired, will you buy it? You won't do that because it's not about the package, it's not about the quality of what you're buying, right? So the best we can do is to encourage people, keep enlightening people through our media campaigns. Don't purchase old tires. Check, and that's why I want people to understand the manufacturing date. When you understand that when you see the 4 digits, this is what it stands for. It's just like somebody saying, like the example I gave this example of 2420. You know, if you don't really know the right thing, a tire seller can tell you that the 24 stands for year 2024 to deceive you, of which the 24 stands for week 2024 and year 20 stands for the year the tire was manufactured, which is June 2020. And then the person can deceive you and say, oh, this means week 20 of year 2024, just because it wants to sell. So it is you that you tell yourself, I will not be a victim. So you have to learn and understand all these things so you won't fall victim of getting the wrong tires. So the FRSC does not have the right to approach these vendors. The best you can do is to collaborate with the Standard Organization of Nigeria and, of course, the Nigerian Customs to reduce or stop the importation of Tokumo tires, and then for SOM to carry out their enforcement in tracking down those selling of these bad tires. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, SRC. Just to I see a comment from your colleague, Opeyemi Penyomoto. You say if you buy, enforcement team is waiting for you. So basically, if you buy those funny looking tires, and eventually that money you don't want to spend, you will eventually spend it. Anyway, so let's go to the last talking point. Again, I said if you still have questions, please feel free to drop your questions in the comment box. Or if you would like to speak, just maybe signify so we can allow you speak at some point. Maybe you want to ask your question in person. Thank you so much. And so we look at finally now practical travel tips for the festive season. What every driver must check before hitting the road. So I think Miss Oluwashimamoye has stepped out already. Like I said, she mentioned that she had another meeting she had to join. So we thank you very much, Oluwashim, for that time. And I think I want to take Prince Ike Okoye on this last one first before we allow SRC just to cap it up and we just maybe take general questions or contributions from the audience, and then we call it a night. So we have practical tips for the festive season. And interesting, when I was speaking with Prince Ike, I think we okay. So we're together last week Friday, yeah, last Friday. So he mentioned that. So we're supposed to actually see much earlier, but he said he was in the shop. A lot of people were coming to buy tires, buy tires, buy tires. Apparently, they say it's normal because this is the season where a lot of people are traveling. So a lot of his customers were like, it was a rule, and I'm sure probably it's still the same experience till now, you know. So which is normal because a lot of people are traveling. So what are the tips? What do you think every driver should know, especially now during this period as they'll be traveling? What are those practical tips? Let's have that in maybe about 3 to 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, and then we allow SRC just to maybe cap it up. Over to you, please.
Okay, so thank you once again. I think I actually mentioned some of these tips earlier on, where when I was talking about tire safety measures, when I talked about checking your pressures regularly. I talked about rotating tires where need be. Being especially for front wheel drives, the ones in the front will always wear faster than those at the
In the
back.
back.
So and then avoiding overspeeding. I think this one is just general thing. Inspect your tires for damages. It could be a nail. It could be a side wall that has brushed somewhere. Something as minor as that. Remember, we keep saying just as SRC just to always remember that it's just rubber. So be mindful of it. Check it. Gone were the days when it was wood and steel that were tires. So be mindful of them. Check them properly. Because they are rubbers, they can burst anytime. A lot of factors can affect them. Your wheel balancing and alignment, especially the alignment, is very, very, very important. You should do that. Check your tread depth. Even when it's evenly, worn out, check it if it's too low. Oh, there was something. This is Mom was saying the other time about retreading, and I always have my reservations about that. I'm glad I remembered that right now. See, your tires have been designed to handle a particular depth. See, the thickness of those tires that were made have been designed to absorb heat, cold, and a whole lot of natural stuff that can affect them. So when you do the extra thing of going a bit deeper, there are layers. Tires have layers. The rubber, the synthetic, the steel. So when you do that, you actually take away a good chunk of that rubber that is supposed to
Mm.
absorb heat, shocks. So you're literally, that it hasn't happened to you is because you're just lucky, but you are really, really exposing yourself to danger, of tire burst, especially tire burst, because you've reduced the capacity for that tire to absorb heat and shock. So it's actually not a good practice. I'm glad I remembered that to say it. So uh, that about that. But I would also love to say something that a lot of drivers do not know, and that is how to read the specifications of your tires. You have, for example, I'm going to use this, a standard one, 195/65 R15. So the first number is the width of your tire, spreading from the top left to the top right. The middle number is the ratio of the tire, to the percentage of the width. So, and the ratio starts from the top of the tire till the point it meets the rim. That is the ratio. And then you have the last number, that is the R. After the R, you have 16. That tells you the rim, that iron of your tires. After that, you have two numbers. Those two numbers are your load index. For those that will overload their vehicles, your tires actually have, quoted the capacity, the highest amount of load that vehicle should carry. Now, after that number, you have an H. Although to break down the number, you need to see the table, right? But it's there online. And then after that, you have the H. The H tells you your speed limits. You shouldn't exceed those speed, because when you do, you're actually applying extra pressure on your tires. So you want to be careful of that. And finally, I just want to drop I call it fun fact, and that's the fact that your tires are white in color originally. It's just a fun fact. They are white. So the bigger question is, why are they now black? That's because there's something called carbon black. They are used to coat the tires. Imagine if your tires were milky, which is the original color of rubber, or they are off-white. Imagine how dirty they would be, plying on the road. So they use what we call carbon black. Now, the carbon black does a lot of things, which includes: one, they help keep your tire clean; two, they help improve the durability; and three, one of the most important is that they are heat dissipators. As compared to how white will handle heat, against how black will handle them. So that's why you have your tires black. They are not originally black. So yeah, uh, back to SRC. Just to turn it back.
All right, thank you. Okay, before our SRC weighs in there, I think I saw a hand from Taiwo Toki. I don't know if you want to ask a question now. I saw a hand from you earlier. Your hand is still up. Do you want to quickly unmute yourself and ask a question, or maybe make your contribution? Then I can also see a
Okay,
comment from Sunday Olowo Kere, who says, "For me, I
good
think most
evening.
drivers buy the fairly used tires."
Hello, good
Okay,
evening. I'm not
I
asking
don't know
any
if this
question. I
question is
just
for.
can I talk first? Right, hold on.
Oh, okay, all right. So yes, so I think Taiwo, you can go ahead and have your question, please.
All right. Thank you, the panelists. Thank you, everyone. This is a really educative one. I must confess, I learned a lot. I've been driving for long, but I didn't know much about tires till now. But I knew just a little bit about. I know much about cars, but not tires. That's really important. I wish there was more people that listened to this or that participated. I wish we could spread this more, and it's a very good time to spread this. This is the season where people ply the road a lot, rushing for the festive, celebrations. I appreciate the panel again. I want to say this is a good one. I would like us to do more of this and reach out to more populace. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, definitely. The session is being recorded on YouTube, so it's going to be available on YouTube. We'll keep sharing the links. Typically, most of our audience, we even get them after the webinar because on weekdays, people are tired coming from work and all that, but they have the opportunity to watch it anytime. All 6 editions we've had are all definitely on YouTube as well. So we'll share the links with everyone who registered. Thank you so much, Taiwo, for that. Okay, so over to Sunday's question now. I don't know if SRC wants to address that before giving your practical travel tips for the festive. Thank you.
Okay, for the Sunday Olówókéré question, is it?
Yes.
He said he thinks it's unfair because people buy, like I rightly said, you see, the value we place on our lives will determine what we will do. You see, those people that you feel they cannot afford brand new tires, the same guys who go to the bar and spend good money and even take one for the road. The same guys will go get the designer shoes, designer tops, get this, get that, and forgetting the fact that their life actually depends on this tire. This tire can take their life at any time. See, so it's all about the value we place on things. Unfortunately, we place more value on mundane things than things that are very, very important. Like the example I gave in the beginning, my friend, it actually happened to my own friend that she felt she couldn't afford to buy new tires, but she could afford to buy Afrobeat for somebody's wedding. So that's the function of placing value on some things above other things. So the same way we spend so much money on buying fuel into our vehicle, let us spend the same money on tire. Because you know the company are saying that the tire is just a rubber component and it's the only connection between your vehicle and the road. So if you don't take care of that tire, don't let the tire disappoint you. Like do your best. Make sure you do your best. Let it be that you've done the right thing, right? And then forget about the cost. I know it's quite expensive, and you don't have to do it at once. Like we've already said earlier, some of the panelists also mentioned if you can't buy the brand new tires, like in the place of the trucks, if you buy two new tires, we encourage people put the new tires at the rear axle. It is better you place the new tires at the rear axle, right? And then the older ones can be in front because you have more load coming from the back of the vehicle. And possibly if you bought four tires at the same time, right? And then you feel, oh, it's already wearing out. You can actually swap these tires. There can be cross rotation. You can swap the tires, take the front tires to the back because they still have more lifespan than shelf life rather than the ones at the back. So please, we beg of you, just try. Government cannot subsidize. I wish governments can subsidize. Oh. Anyway, anything can happen, but it is not in the place of the FRSC to say that we can only give recommendations like okay, like we've been given, right? But the government might not be able to subsidize all the cost, but please just try. Try your best. You're saving the money small, small. One day to be complete, and then you buy new tires, and then you will feel good yourself.
All right. Thank you very much, SRC, for that. I guess that also covers the practical travel tips for the festive season. As well. I saw Otumba, you had a hand up. I don't know if you want to listen, you want to ask your question or make your contribution now. Then Sonny Olowokere, I see you said you can't hear anything. I guess it's your network. But notwithstanding, I mean, the session is being recorded, so you can always listen to it eventually if you can't even, maybe if you missed any part right now. So let's have you, Otumba, please. You can unmute yourself and ask your question or make your contribution. We have just, it's 8:51 p.m. now. We have exactly 9 minutes more. We try to typically wrap up our sessions before 9 p.m. So we have barely 9 minutes to wrap up, and we're still going to take final words from our panelists. So, Otumba, please, over to you quickly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for this session. I actually joined quite
Otumba, are you
late.
able to speak?
Yes, I'm speaking.
Okay, great. I can hear you now.
Uh,
Good.
okay, good. So, thank you so much for this session. I practically learned new things. Even after I've been driving for like 16, 17 years, I'm just knowing a few things. But then I think this discussion should actually have more publicity because hearing a few things personally, I feel certain things are actually being unfair to people that are being affected. For instance, a car broke down on the road. Federal safety came with a towing vehicle to come and tow it, and you're telling me to pay 200,000 naira. It wasn't intentional that the car broke down on the road. So I feel a few things should be done about this, and I feel this particular conversation, there should be more publicity. It shouldn't just be about maybe just taking it to television, I mean, just churches, mosques, and the likes. I think the National Orientation Agency, the federal city should really partner with them so that there is a way this message can be passed across to a lot of people. And again, this is more or less like an observation for me, which I am directing to the FRSC official. Pardon me if I am unable to call your rank, please, and just to me, please. Now, our license, driver license, is actually not accepted outside Nigeria. Yes, I can't hear you, please.
That's not true, but go ahead.
Okay, our driver's license is actually not accepted to drive outside Nigeria, except if you get an international driver license. Now, I heard of South Africa. Their license is allowed to drive in some part of Europe. I feel if the federal safety can probably just do something, I know you're doing a lot, but I feel if federal safety can probably just do something about this, and I think it boils down on the training when you want to start learning how to drive. I feel that is where the issue is. A lot. I am also affected. For instance, nobody taught me how to drive. I learned how to drive myself by stealing my dad's car, just move it around. Yes, I know I'm affected, but I feel if there is stiffer, measures to make sure that everything is intact, to make sure that at least we are also recognized worldwide, I think it will really help. I came to a particular country, I can't drive. In fact, I'm currently going through driving test again because of what? Because of the, what I have actually not been able to really go through in the country that I'm coming from. So please, I would appreciate if there is a way you can also work on these things. In addition to everything I have said, I think it will be a good thing. Thank you so much for the education, please. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let me quickly respond to that. Actually, the Nigeria's driver's license is acceptable in many countries outside the world. If you go to the United States, we have over 10 states in the United States where you can use the Nigeria's driver's license to drive without any disturbance. And then why you have to use international licenses in some other countries, different countries have their policies. Like in Nigeria now, under the national traffic regulation, if you are a visitor, we also have rules. We have our own policies that will guide how you can drive, how long you will be allowed to drive in Nigeria before you get a Nigeria's driver's license. And I put it to you, the process of obtaining a driver's license in Nigeria now has changed. Over 15 years or thereabouts, if you don't go through the driving school, you will not be able to get a driver's license. But unfortunately, the Nigerian factor sets in. A lot of people don't do the right thing. Possibly your daddy will teach you, your uncle, you just confessed how you learned your own, and you want them to allow you to drive. You're a potential danger to them because you don't even understand the necessary things. Do you have the knowledge of the highway code? So do you understand what the road markings really mean? When you see a particular sign, you see a regulatory sign, do you know what it means? Do you know the interpretation? And that is the essence of going to a driving school. So in Nigeria as we speak, you cannot obtain a driver's license without going to the driving school. And the driving school, you're expected to go for 26 days. In fact, it's online. Then you go to a driving school, they input your name into the system. You're expected to have 26 sessions. So there is no chua about it. Until 26 days is completed, when you've learned how to drive, that is when you can now do a computer-based test. After the computer-based test, if you don't pass up to 75%, you will not be issued a driving school certificate. And without a driving school certificate, you cannot obtain a driver's license. So this is the process. And remember that the driver's license is the only legal document that permits anyone to drive on the road. road. So if you don't go through the driving school, if you don't get your CBT test done, you cannot obtain a driver's license. So the FRSC, we are doing so much work. In fact, we have new stuff, things coming on board. Very, very soon, you'll be experiencing the contactless driver's license process coming very, very soon. And then we have lots of things to ensure that everybody can use the road very well. I know we have 2 minutes and I cannot but talk about us having the FRSC mobile application that we launched last year, which is also to get the road user more closer to us. It's an application. You can go to the Google Play Store and then just type FRSC mobile app and then you download it. It has lots of functions. It has lots of things. You can also learn about the core just with your phone. Now you can even access our national traffic radio. FRSC, we have a national traffic radio where we give real-time traffic reports, enlightenment, and stuff is going on there. With the FRSC mobile application, you can have easy access to that. So for the driver's license, we are doing so much. And my final words, it's Ember month, right? And people have the mind that, oh, there are some blood-sucking demons that make crashes to happen. The only thing is that in Ember months, we traditionally witness a significant increase in economic and commercial activities. So it is expected that there is such, and it leads to higher vehicular movements. People are traveling, people want to have events, and that is why we have high movements. And when we have high movements on the road, it is expected that the road traffic crashes might also increase. So you are the one that will help yourself. You make sure you do the right thing. Drive under the expected speed limits. Don't overload your vehicle. Don't drive under the influence of alcohol. People will say one for the road. FRSC will say it is not one for the road. It is none for the road because your safety is very, very important. There is so much to say, but because of our time, so let me just stop. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, SRC. You've been amazing today. We can't thank you enough for this very practical insight. I see another question very quickly. It's from I think that's Judah Alfred again. I've noticed that almost all, if not all, vulcanizers shop I know don't have modern tire pressure measuring tools, and many of them still rely on hands to gauge tires. And one of the panelists talked about how important it is to have the right PSI in your tire. And I believe this cannot be ascertained with just hands. What is the FRSC doing to address this issue? Are there plans to provide proper equipment or training to improve tire pressure checks and overall road safety? Fantastic question. Thank you so much for this, Jude.
All right.
Yes,
Okay,
let's hear
briefly,
you
I
again,
mentioned it from the beginning
SRC.
that when we started the Know Your Tire campaign, the first set of people we approached were the vulcanizers because they are the real culprits in this. Like I said in Yoruba, you take your vehicle and just say, "Eba mi pour 40-40 round," and they will just put 40-40 without even checking what do you have there. And then they were the ones we started with. We've done a lot of enlightenment for these vulcanizers. We have encouraged them to get the modern tools in checking tires. And then now, this is the message. Don't rely on those guys. We tell people your safety is in your hands. Please get your own gauge if you can afford to. It's not even expensive. Get your gauge. Let it be that you already know that, oh, my tire has actually deflated to like 29 psi. Then you might need, or possibly if your expected tire psi is like 35, we've already told you where you can check. You can check by the side of the car. You can check by the boot of the car. We both kept it in places where people will not check. But now we are telling you when you open your car, there is a kind of paper label by the wall of your of your car as you're entering your vehicle. You see there the expected PSI. They will put left, right, that's it, 35 PSI or what have you. So it's you yourself, help yourself, get your own gauge, know what you want to put. Some people even have their own, tire pumps that they can actually pump their tires themselves. But we are doing a lot about the vulcanizers. We do a lot of enlightenment and we have not stopped and we still keep talking to them. Of course, we cannot buy we cannot buy the gauge for them. We don't have such resources to provide it for them. The best we can do is to encourage them and also speak to the road users. Don't fall victim. Don't let your safety don't let your life or your safety be dependent on the hand of the vulcanizer. Help yourself. Do the right thing before you even get to the vulcanizer. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, SRC, for that. Man, I don't know what else to even say right now, but I've learned so much myself. So much. In the last couple of weeks, I've done a lot of, checks, research on tires, but I've learned so much more even in this particular session, just like I'm also very certain many people have. Thank you for all the answers to all the questions as well. Just as we take final words from our panelists, can we have you one more time? Prince Ike Okoye, just go. Then for the audience, to say one or two things before we call it a date. Already past 9 p.m. I hope we can leave you in another 5 minutes or less. So, Prince Ike Okoye, please. Is it still here? Oh, okay. It appears it's not here anymore. Okay, good, good. I'm not sure he's here. I'm not sure he's here right now. Possibly stopped maybe network or he stepped aside. Otumba, is that a fresh hand or I mean I don't know. I see your hand up. Is it the same hand you raised before? If it is, you can unmute yourself and speak. But if it's not, then
Oh, sorry, it's an error. Sorry, please.
okay, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you so much. All right. So I don't know if of Mr. Okoyemi Omotosho wants to say anything. Is a colleague interestingly introduced us to SRC, Jason Tomikpe, but I know he also is he has a lot. I mean, we're on the phone for quite a while. The was telling me some experiences that they have, especially on the field, rescue operations, among other things. So I don't know if you want to speak for maybe 1 minute or thereabout, if it's okay. Are you able to? You could just time already. We look at what I expected outcomes for this session where, and I want to believe we've all met all of them. Understand how to, okay, network is, okay, I think he has a network challenge where he is. Okay, I see your comment there, Mr. Motosho, thank you. We now understand how to determine tire manufacture and expiry dates. We now know the practical steps to maintain optimal tire performance. We now appreciate the cost-safety balance in timely tire replacement. And of course, we've gained insight into FRSC's expectations and enforcement focus for the festive period. And now we are empowered to make safer travel decisions even in this holiday season. So once again, I want to thank every one of you for attending this webinar. Of course, Dinamico Consulting has hosted this particular episode. We are consultants specializing in education, project management, and social impact. Through our signature webinar series, this is the Dinamico Conversations. We convene experts to explore topics that enhance learning outcomes, foster personal development, and promote civic responsibility. For this particular episode, we've been we're grateful to the Federal Road Safety Corps, represented by SRC Jesse Tomipe, Mala Igbarola. We're grateful to Samsco Tyres. Of course, the CEO is Prince Ike Okoye. We're grateful to Taxi Global Logistics. We had the Executive Director, Oluwaseun Mamoye, earlier with us. And of course, thanks to everyone who has continued to throw this message out there. Remember, it's being recorded. The recording to be shared with every one of you who registered, so you could always keep watching. And of course, please keep sharing around. You don't know how many lives you're saving by doing just that. Thank you so much to every one of you, and we look forward to seeing you again during the next episode of Dinamico Webinars or Dinamico Conversations. And we wish you all a wonderful Christmas and a Happy New Year in advance. Thank you. Okay, I see your comment now, Mr. Moto. It says, network is bad. Jason Tomipe has done justice. I totally agree. She has done, in fact, you've done more than justice. Of course, Prince Ike Okoye as well. Okay, I was asking you to give us your final words.
Yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yes.
Okay, sorry, I had network issues the other time. So it was good being here. I really do want to say something though, and that's pertaining private drivers as regards using new tires in the front or back. When SRSC just told me was talking about using your new tires at the back. So I would love to say that as regards passenger vehicles, the weight of your vehicle is in the front, your engine. That controls your accelerating system, braking system. So most of the stuff lies in the front part. So as a passenger vehicle, you will want your best tires in the front of the vehicle, because that is what carries the bulk of your load, and the vehicle's operating systems in terms of braking and acceleration, and most of them are also front wheel drive. So you want to match your brake, and you need that front to handle it because of the weight of the engine. I'm particular about private vehicles. So I just thought we should know that. And on that one, I'm so happy to be here today. And this is something I personally, always do at every time I have the opportunity. I've done some collaborations as well, done some radio, station talk as regards tire safety and management. It was always a pleasure because, I'm in that sector where I get a lot of informations about, accidents, and yeah, I have close friends in that sector. So it's a thing of passion for me, being that it's my business as well, to ensure that we stay safe out there. Very, very important. Please, your tire pressure, always manage it. Sorry, 3 seconds. Just today, I had five customers, not just mine, that came with their tires, with bulge. And guess what? When we gauged those tires, one of them was 58, one was 65, one was 47. Crazy, crazy. So it's important. I said it before, to please get yourself a tire gauge. Don't depend on your organizers. Thank you very much. Thank you for the
Thank you
opportunity.
so much. It's been a very insightful evening. SRC, I don't know any last words. You've given a lot of last words already, but
I've
we don't
given a
mind
lot.
more.
My this should just come. Please don't donate your blood to the road. Donate
Hmm.
your
Hmm.
blood to the blood bank. So instead of you
Profound.
donating to the road when you fall victim of a road traffic crash and then you waste your blood on the road, that's waste. So if you have excess blood, donate it to the blood bank. Don't waste it on the road. And that is, you don't want to be a victim of road traffic crash. And that's it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being a part of this. We're going to be having this again very soon. I mean, at a different topic, definitely. I will keep you posted. Some of you here currently might even be panelists in this one. Our idea is to just, keep pushing conversations out there, talking about how we can make our world a better place. And it's been a pleasure doing this. Once again, my name is Michael Olugbenga Shile. I'm the principal consultant of Dinamico Consulting, where basically we offer project management and education services. It's been a pleasure doing this, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year in advance. Good night, everyone.